Good afternoon, and what is a cool, grey and blustery day. It is Monday, November the 13th, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea and some bonus unboxings to do. And what I have in here is a handful of releases for Free RPG Day 2023, which took place on June 24th. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to get all of the titles released for Free RPG Day this year until I've got more of them. Dave Salisbury at Fanboy 3 is typically very generous in providing with the titles, but he wasn't able to this year. But thankfully, Fee and Paul at All Rolled Up was able to supply some extra ones which they had spare. And so I'm able to do more unboxings and then review them again late, but better late than never. And it's it feels like I'm sort of finishing off a tradition and getting closer to completing it this year. So I've already looked at Hecking Good Doggos from Wet Ink Games. What I'm going to look at next is, let's have a look at Heist at the Museum, which is an adventure for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons from Loke BattleMats. Now, Loke BattleMats are best known for essentially the big battle mats that they publish. They're available digitally, but essentially in the books, things like the big, bright, colourful, marked in 1-inch squares, and they provide a variety of different environments, whether that's a river or a gorge or a forest, a market, a sewer, and that sort of thing. And these are all done in sort of like 2-foot square books, double-sided flip. And you will have seen me unbox them, several of the books here, thanks to my friend Neve. And the thing is with this is that this is really a promotional release for a book they released earlier this year, which is the sort of basically castle and room guides, which were really very well set up for running heists and robberies and investigating buildings and so on. And they would work in a variety of genres, primarily fantasy, of course, because that's what this is what they're aimed at. But there's some flexibility in those maps. So, Heist at the Museum is a supporting release for Free RPG Day for that book of battle maps. So we open up, and so the book in question is, they mention here, it's the big book of battle maps, rooms, vaults, and chambers. There we go. That's it there. That's what I have unboxed and reviewed previously, thanks to my friend Neve. So we have a description, sort of like what's in the what's in the book, a guide to 5th edition in 5 minutes, an introduction to the adventure, what you'll need, tips to run the adventure, plots, and NPCs, including so the Magpies are a professional group of thieves, and then you set everything up and go. So the player character is going to be given a briefing on a museum that they're going to have to rob. The player characters are going to have to rob, and that map is whoa. Well, that's no good. See how windy it is out here. So let's pick that back up. So yeah, there's the map, which is in the big book of battle maps, rooms, vaults, and chambers. Here reduced to scale for the benefit of the dungeon master. So you've got the museum display cases described, armor guards, design, dinosaur skeleton, if you can see there. Artifacts, including the tetrad gemstones, which are going to be presumably the target for the heist. And then you've got covering the escape, basically get in, get the goods, and get out again. And you've got the armor guards whom the player character will be facing as part of the heist. And then you have basically a view of the museum, basically an illustration of the museum and description. And this is for both the dungeon master and her players. And then we switch over, and there's basically a handout to solve, essentially opening up the traps and puzzles which protect the contents of the museum. And we have some player characters or NPCs ready to play, and a full-size map of the museum for this booklet. It's much bigger in the actual book. And we've got another location as well. Again, that's straight out of the book. I mean, you can see how good these maps are. But in the actual big book map, they are bigger and printed on card and then laminated, so you can draw on them, put stickers down, move your figures across them, and use them. So more characters, and then you've got basically the items that the player, the burglars are going after, and NPCs to encounter guards and so on. Basically the counters for using on that map in the middle, so you cut those out and use those, you move those around. And then we've got a guide to the handouts and the actual targets for the heist. So that includes the eminent of escape and the tetrad gemstones. Before we get back to the second scene, which is going to be Malafont Manor. That sounds safe, doesn't it? And that's that in that location there. And face off against Barrios Malafont, who's actually begins the game as their patron, as their employer. And it turns out he's up to no good because he's got cultists alongside him, and he's summoning a devilish piper. Because of course that's absolutely typical, sort of like this kind of adventure. The patron's going to be up to no good. He wants the items not for for the benefit of civilization, but for his own personal ends. And so here we've got at the end we have an illustration of what is in the big book of BattleMats, rooms, vaults, and chambers. So there we go, just there. And of course, this is written for the world's most popular role-playing game for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but it doesn't have to be run for it. You can easily adapt this to the retro clone, to the old school Renaissance style role-playing game, or even another fantasy game of your choice. I mean, the stats are easy to work out and cross over to the game of your choice. The setup is really simple, and that's going to be like a one-shot or a one-session kind of affair that would have worked. So yeah, that's a nice little basically showcase of Loke BattleMats products, its maps, and backed up with a little adventure where you can see them in play. So I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing a book or game or role-playing game, or in this case a quick start or adventure for Dungeons and Dragons released on Free RPG Day, which I will talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course by accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.